Sometimes we all just need a little inspiration, and at times like that, it's a great idea to look around at what other graphic designers are doing or have done. And so this video is a short web tour that focuses on three graphic designers who specialize in typography work, as well as some information about a movie for you. So I went to my favorite search engine, as you can see here, and I typed in their names. The first designer is a woman named Paula Cher. You may have heard of her. She works for a company called Pentagram in London and also New York City. She is based in the New York City office, and she's very well known for her typographic treatments of posters and also for interior design typography work. This piece is one of her most well-known posters for the Public Theater in New York, and it is a wonderful example here of how typography can be made almost to look like funky music, the way that it's sized and angled and spaced and compressed together. It shows a beautiful syncopation and a real rhythm. So she's very known for things like that. She's also influenced by an era in design history called the Constructivism era, which was popular in the early 20th century, and the angled type and the all capital letters fitting nice and tightly together is a hallmark of that style, and she's kind of brought it into the 21st century here. So there's a lot of wonderful examples of her work online, and at the end of this video I have a resources page for you to look at and copy the URLs of her site, the other designers, and other resources. There's a link there to a fabulous video where she does a great job about talking about her work with typography. She also is a painter, and this website here shows an example of the kind of painting she's been doing, and this is all typography, hand-painted letters. This is a map of the world that she's painted, and the detail shows that it's all letter forms and locations. None of it is digital, it's all hand painted. And in the video she talks about how relaxing this is for her, almost like her therapy. But it's a beautiful example of how handwork can also be just beautiful as artwork, even though it focuses and celebrates typography. So she's got some very different styles going on. Louise Phillips is another graphic designer. As a matter of fact, she and Paula Cher are friends, and I believe she's in New York City as well. She is a very prolific graphic designer who focuses on the food industry. She does signage and restaurant labels and packaging. She's also designed several book covers. And her style is heavily typographically based, and she has a very feminine and I think just a really elegant sense of both graphic design and typographic use. And I get a sense of kind of an Art Deco feel from a lot of her work and a real feminine flair. Just beautiful ways of working with type and letters. There's a lot of wonderful work on this nicely designed website. I've also given you the URL of a YouTube video interview with her. The audio is not great, but she talks about her work with typography and gives tips to beginning graphic designers. So it's worth a look-see if you're interested. Our third designer is David Carson, who you may have known about. If not, he is well worth an exploration. He became very popular in the 1990s, largely with his magazine called Raygun, which is based, as you can probably tell, on the arts and music and entertainment industry. Carson started out as a professional surfer, and when he started this magazine, he was not a graphic designer. He basically came in and just winged it. And his idea is about breaking typographic rules, and you can see that he was very successful at doing that. This is a book cover of his book, The End of Print, and he was all about cutting up letters and just really making things burst out of the box, and he's a wonderful guy to look at for inspiration. We of course recommend that you learn the rules of typography first, but then look at people like Carson to find out about breaking them and see what he has done. So he's really quite inspirational to me. The last thing I'm going to share with you is a website that talks about a documentary film called Helvetica. It is probably the only documentary film ever made about a typeface, and it is actually about the font Helvetica, where it was designed, and most importantly, how graphic design and culture was affected by this typeface. It's a very good movie. I've seen it and I enjoy it. It is available on Netflix, so you can look into renting it there if you have a Netflix account. Helveticafilm.com, which is this page here, gives you buttons you can click to look at the preview and perhaps rent the movie there. I haven't tested these, but it is definitely worth looking into. Quite a interesting discussion of this famous typeface. Here are the resources for you to you can take a screenshot of this and go visit these websites, look at the videos. I highly recommend the TED Talk video of David Carson's. This is actually really quite entertaining. The man is very funny, and it's about 20 minutes long and a great way to get a good laugh and learn about design. So I'm hoping that these resources will be a great source of inspiration for you and help you along your graphic design journey. Thanks.